So this film is far different than the last film because the last one kind of caught people by surprise. A lot of people didn't know what to expect going in, kind of saw it just as this family film, and it really hit them, and they were like, wow, this is really, really good. Going into this, is there a pressure now of, now there are eyes on you. People are expecting a lot more of the film. So going in, like, do you have a different mindset of we have to up our standard?
Absolutely, yeah. We all recognize that there was tremendous pressure to live up to the first. And in this case, by starting the movie 5 years later, narratively, it means that we can pick up Hiccup and Astrid and the rest of the characters all at a different point in their lives. So they're now kind of leaving youth behind and stepping into adulthood with a certain amount of uncertainty. So that really kind of creates a different model for a story, and it allowed us to keep the same tone and spirit of the first one. It continues to be Hiccup's coming of age. It's the second act in a larger 3-act story, but it allows us to sort of age up everything, bring a sense of maturity and grander overall scope to the film.
I mean, going in, were you guys surprised how well the first one was received?
Surprised but not shocked. Surprised because I don't think anybody, unless you're super arrogant, I don't think you ever expect any endeavor to be a global phenomenon. That's just like beyond our wildest dreams. But not shocked because I think we all thought it was a terrific movie that deserved to connect to people, and we knew somebody would fall in love with it. I just don't think we expected the world to fall in love with it.
I mean, you're making these family films, though. I mean, they're family fare, which is huge in the industry right now. But it's not dumbed down for kids. It's very mature. Even when I was thinking about it more and more, it's not. It's an action drama that gets away with being for young adults. So, how do you make that movie? Because that's a very risky proposition to make right now. That in a time when nobody wants to take any type of risks.
It's risky, but it's the most intuitive way to operate. I think the danger is in second-guessing any audience, whether they're young or old. So what we tried to do on the crew, and I'm talking about the collective 400 people that made the movie, we just tried to make the movie we wanted to see. And so it's filled with moments that we find, heartbreaking and tearful and exciting and funny and emotional. Like, everything is packed into it, and we were really inspired as well by The Empire Strikes Back as being one of the few sequels that over-delivered, that took something that the world loved and expanded upon it in every way.
Well, how do you do something that has? I mean, obviously you're skewing younger with your audience, but there's some lighter moments, but there are very mature sensibilities throughout the film. There's a lot of sacrifice, a lot of loyalty, a lot of stakes and consequences that go with these actions. So when you're trying to maneuver it for, obviously an older crowd that's skewing in, how do you, I guess, introduce these really mature themes to a younger audience?
I mean, it seems to be you just sort of follow your heart and do it the way it comes to you. Like he said, it's intuitive, but bear in mind that it's one of these things that one misstep and you could lose. You could alienate an entire audience, and you've got to know what sort of eyes are going to be watching it. So, I think we be truthful. We try to find a way to keep it real. To do what Dean wants us to do, but ultimately, always in the back of our mind, know who the audience is.
There's already a release date for How to Train Your Dragon 3. That's the way these things seem to go. Has there been movement already towards getting to hit 2016, I guess, is when they already have it slated?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how realistic.
I mean, there's a lot of work.
They don't ask us that release date. They don't ask Dean for that release date.
They just go, here's the date, make it.
They take about 3 years if we're going to design everything from scratch. And so we're all on board to kind of craft the story. I'm about to jump into the screenplay. It is the third part of the trilogy, so to a certain degree we know what's going to happen. And it's just a matter of jumping in and getting our hands dirty with it again. But there's a lot of anticipation already for it, because although it's not a cliffhanger, you can sense that it's not the end of the story as well.